Hey guys, I'm Judy Vogel. I'm a professor at Stockton College, actually now Stockton University. And we're here processing some of your maple sap from, so how do I call your co-op again?
Oak Lane Maple.
Oak Lane Maple, that's awesome. We're so thrilled that you're part of the Stockton project, a little bit connected to what we're doing. So I want to just tell you a little bit about what we are doing, why I'm involved. I'm actually a math professor at Stockton, so it's a little unusual that I'm part of this more scientific grant. But my family and I have been tapping maple trees for about 6 years now. We live on a little hobby farm. If you listen really carefully, you can hear some donkeys braying in the background. And we live in a historic home. It was from the 1770s. It was a tavern. And so part of what we like to do here is to sort of honor the practices of the past, and also to teach our girls, we have 3 girls, about patience and about what it means to produce your own resources. So we've been tapping our maple trees. We tapped them the first year, about 6 years ago, and then we got the bug for maple syruping, and we started borrowing trees from our neighbors. And now we have probably a good 25, maybe more, like 30 trees tapped on our property and our neighbor's property combined. So you're still beating us with taps out there at Oak Lane. So I'm really excited for what you guys are doing. Then Stockton got involved in maple syruping about a year ago. We wrote a grant with the USDA and we got over $400,000 for sort of a 3-approach project with maple syrup. The first one is actually creating an industry-level maple sugar bush on Stockton's campus. Stockton has 1,000 acres of forest, and in those acres we have cedar swamps, and it turns out red maples and cedar like each other, so they grow together, and we're tapping about 100 maple trees this year, and we hope to double it by next year. So that's the first thing we're doing. The second thing we're doing is research. We're asking a lot of people throughout the South Jersey region to tap maple trees at about 10 per property, or actually 10 to 20 per property. And we're testing the soil and the ecology and seeing how the soil impacts the syrup and then how the tapping impacts the soil. So that's another big scientific part of the grant. The third part of the grant is you guys. It's about engagement. It's about getting people interested in the idea of maple syrup production in this lower region of the United States, and just basically seeing what sort of community involvement we can get as a whole, but also as individual communities. And that's where the co-op project came in. So we're so excited to have you on board. Jethro has been a great partner in starting this up, and we're here today doing your first off-site boil, in fact. So you've done a few smaller boils up by your end of the woods, and we're doing a great big boil here today with an evaporator that's very efficient, burns on wood, and should take a couple more hours before we send you home with some syrup.